Ambassador Zixathera had seen many species in her 3 centuries of diplomatic service. The crystalline Vorthak with their logic-based warfare, the gaseous Newmans who fought through atmospheric manipulation, the insectoid hive mind clusters with their perfect coordination. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared her for the humans. The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic display materialized above the central podium. Representatives from 47 different species watched with varying degrees of curiosity and skepticism. The humans had requested this emergency session, claiming they possessed relevant intelligence regarding the ongoing war with the Devourers, a conflict that had consumed entire star systems for the past decade. "Honored delegates," spoke Commander Sarah Chen, the human representative. Her species was young, barely 3 centuries into space travel, yet they stood with the confidence of ancients. "We understand your reservations about humanity's contributions to this war effort. Today, we wish to share something that might change your perspective." Counselor Vex Mirren of the Hegemony clicked his mandibles dismissively. "More primitive kinetic weapons demonstrations? Your species' obsession with chemical propulsion and metal projectiles has been noted and found wanting." Chen smiled, an expression that somehow made several delegates uncomfortable. "Not quite, Counselor. We're going to show you something else. Something we call Tuesday." The hologram shifted, displaying what appeared to be a standard tactical briefing room. Human soldiers sat around a metal table, their faces bearing a casual weariness that spoke of routine rather than desperation. The timestamp indicated this was recorded 3 days ago, during the Battle of Kepler 442b. "All right, people," said a grizzled human with scars crisscrossing his face. "Intelligence says the Devourers have established a hive cluster in Sector 7. Estimated 40,000 hostiles. Class 5 bioweapons, the usual Tuesday morning cleanup." Several delegates leaned forward. 40,000 Devourers had been enough to sterilize entire colonies. "Sir," interrupted a younger human, raising her hand. "My plasma rifle's acting up again. Keeps overheating after the first 100 shots." "Take Williams as backup," the scarred human replied without looking up from his datapad. "He won't need it anyway. Remember, we're on a timeline here. The missus is making meatloaf tonight, and I promised the kids I'd help with homework." The chamber stirred uneasily. These humans spoke of facing certain death with the same tone other species used to discuss weather patterns. The footage shifted to combat sequences. What the delegates witnessed defied every principle of warfare they understood. Humans didn't retreat when outnumbered, they advanced. They didn't seek cover when overwhelmed, they charged. When their weapons failed, they used tools. When their tools broke, they used debris. When they had nothing left, they used their bare hands and an inexplicable fury that bordered on the supernatural. One sequence showed a human medic dragging wounded comrades to safety, while simultaneously firing at Devourers with a weapon held in his teeth. Another displayed a group of humans who, cut off from resupply, had fashioned explosive devices from their own ration packs and were hurling them with remarkable accuracy while laughing, actually laughing. "By the 7 moons," whispered Ambassador Krethek of the Zentari Union. "They're enjoying this." But it was the final sequence that broke the assembly's collective sanity. A human soldier, separated from his unit and facing a towering Devourer bio-titan, had run out of ammunition. Instead of surrendering or attempting escape, he pulled out what appeared to be a ceremonial blade, primitive steel, no energy enhancement, and charged the creature while screaming what the translator rendered as, "For the Emperor." The bio-titan, which stood 12 meters tall and had previously required orbital bombardment to neutralize, was systematically dismantled by this lone human, who seemed to grow more violent with each wound he sustained. The footage ended. The chamber remained silent for a full minute. Finally, Ambassador Zixathera found her voice. "Commander Chen, what manner of genetic modifications has your species undergone to achieve such capabilities?" "None," Chen replied simply. "This is baseline human behavior under combat conditions." "Impossible," stammered Counselor Vex Mirren. "No unmodified biological entity exhibits such aggressive tendencies combined with tactical intelligence and apparent disregard for self-preservation." Chen's smile widened. "Gentlemen, ladies, and various other forms of sentient life, you've been fighting the Devourers with logic, strategy, and advanced technology. All admirable approaches. But you've been fighting them like civilized beings." She gestured toward the display. "We don't fight civilized wars. We fight like we're trying to protect something we love from something we hate. Every human in that footage has family, friends, pets, favorite restaurants, childhood memories, and dreams for the future. The Devourers threaten all of that. So you fight like... Ambassador Krethek struggled for the words. Like cornered animals, Chen finished. Except we're the apex predator of our homeworld. We've weaponized our pack-bonding instincts, and we've convinced ourselves that everyone else in the galaxy is part of our extended family now. The implications hit the assembly like a plasma bolt. If humans fought this ferociously for strangers, what would they do for actual allies? Commander, Zixthara said slowly, what would humanity require to take point on Devourer engagements? Logistical support, medical supplies for our wounded, and maybe some decent coffee. Our military runs on caffeine. 3 hours later, the Galactic Council voted unanimously to restructure their entire military command. Humanity would lead all combat operations against the Devourers. 6 months after that, the Devourers sued for peace. The surrender documents were signed on a Tuesday. Commander Chen kept her promise about meatloaf and homework.